I'm honored to have you here, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us today as we dive into Travis Konecny. Travis Konecny, born March 11, 1997, is a Canadian professional ice hockey forward for the Philadelphia Flyers of the National Hockey League (NHL). The Flyers selected him in the first round, 24th overall, of the 2015 NHL Entry Draft. Born in London, Ontario, and raised in Clachan, Konecny grew up watching hockey on television while practicing on frozen ponds. His minor ice hockey career began with the local Chatham-Kent Cyclones, but he soon moved closer to London in order to attend the PEAC Hockey Academy and play for the Elgin-Middlesex Chiefs of the Alliance Hockey Organisation. His 114-point season caught the eye of the Ottawas of the Ontario Hockey League (OHL), who selected Konecny first overall in the 2013 OHL draft. Konecny played 2.5 seasons of junior ice hockey for Ottawa before he was traded to the Sarnia Sting at the start of 2016 in exchange for 2 players and 8 OHL draft picks. During his junior hockey tenure, Konecny also represented Canada at a number of international tournaments, including the Ivan Hlinka Memorial Tournament and the World Juniors. Just prior to the NHL season, the Flyers announced that both Konecny and his fellow 2015 first-round draftee Ivan Provorov would bypass the traditional tryout period for rookies and would play in the NHL for the entire season. Konecny's first 2 seasons in the NHL were uneven, with both scoring streak and slumps, and coach Dave Hakstol would frequently move his skaters up and down offensive lines. After Hakstol's firing in December 2018, Konecny found a steady position with Claude Giroux and James Van Riemsdyk, and his scoring became consistent. He led the Flyers in scoring for the season, but ran into offensive difficulties after the interruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, first with the goal drought in the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs followed by a lackluster performance in the NHL season. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of early life and its fascinating intricacies. Konecny was born on March 11, 1997, in London, Ontario. He grew up in nearby Clachan with his father Rob, a firefighter, mother Terry Lee, a worker with autistic children, and brother Chase, an engineering student. Outside of his immediate family, Konecny's cousin Bo Horvat also played ice hockey from a young age. Because Clachan was too small to have its own ice rink, Konecny would practice on frozen ponds and would watch hockey games to develop his skills. He was also childhood friends with Lawson Krause, who he met when they tried out for the same hockey team at the age of 6. Coaches started to notice Konecny when, at the age of 10, he scored 4 goals and an assist in one period of a youth ice hockey tournament. Although he began playing minor ice hockey with the local Chatham-Kent Cyclones, when Konecny was 14 years old he moved to Mount Bridges, where he joined the Elgin-Middlesex Chiefs of the Alliance Hockey Organisation and began attending the PEAC Hockey Academy in London. Smaller than most of his teammates, Konecny was known for his physical style of play, with 24 penalty minutes through the first 9 games of the season. He told reporters, "I don't take stupid penalties, I like to battle and I don't like to lose a puck battle or a race to the puck." He was also a strong scorer, recording 53 goals and 61 assists in 54 games that season. Elgin-Middlesex, meanwhile, captured the Alliance Championship, sweeping the Waterloo Wolves. In the final game of the championship tournament, Konecny received a 10-minute misconduct penalty for fighting. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of junior. The Ottawas of the Ontario Hockey League (OHL), who were entering a rebuilding year after finishing the season with a record, selected Konecny first overall in the 2013 OHL draft, an honor that came with the Jack Ferguson Award for the top OHL draft pick of the year. Younger than most of his new teammates and opponents at only 16, Konecny registered 2 assists in his OHL debut, a win over the Belvoir Bulls. Wilders once again missed the OHL playoffs. Konecny had a dominant rookie season, scoring 26 goals and 44 assists while playing on an offensive line alongside Eric Bradford and Ryan Van Strelen. Leading all OHL rookies in scoring for the season, Konecny was named Rookie of the Month on 4 out of 6 possible opportunities, and at the end of the season, he received the Ems Family Award for OHL Rookie of the Year. He was also named to the OHL First All-Rookie team that year at center. Going into his second year with us, Konecny was named team captain for the season. Although he had a slow start to the season, with only 3 goals and 12 points through his first 18 games, Konecny soon recovered, finishing second on the in scoring with 29 goals and 68 points in 60 regular season games. Ottawa reached the playoffs, and Konecny recorded an additional 3 goals and 10 points in 5 games there. That year, the Philadelphia Flyers of the National Hockey League traded 2 picks in the 2015 NHL Entry Draft to the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for the 24th overall pick, which they used to draft Konecny in the first round. The Flyers' other first-round pick, Ivan Provorov of the Brandon Wheat Kings, had played alongside Konecny at the Channel Top Prospects game earlier that year. Konecny signed an entry-level contract with Philadelphia on July 16, 2015. At the end of the season, the NHL awarded Konecny the inaugural E.J. Maguire Award of Excellence, given to the prospect who best exemplifies the commitment to excellence in hockey through strength of character, competitiveness, and athleticism. After attending the Flyers training camp, Konecny was sent back to his junior hockey team in time for the start of the OHL season. There, he posted 9 goals and 45 points in his third OHL season before becoming part of a major trade with the Sarnia Sting on January 6, 2016. Konecny and Sam Stadniska were sent to Sarnia in exchange for Sacha Chmelevski, Chase Campbell, and 8 picks in that year's OHL draft, with an option for 2 extra draft picks if Konecny spent the season in the OHL as well. With Sarnia, Konecny played with future NHL players Jordan Kiro, Jakub Chikrin, and Pavel Zacha. After the trade, Konecny scored 23 goals and 56 points in the remaining 31 games of the regular season, and added a goal and 2 assists in his first 2 playoff games before a shoulder injury put his postseason run on pause. Although Konecny was meant to rejoin the team for Game 5 of the first-round OHL playoff series, Sarnia was swept in 4 games by the Plymouth Whalers. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through professional and its far-reaching implications. On October 10, 2016, Flyers general manager Ron Hextall announced that both Konecny and Provorov had been named to the opening night roster for the NHL season, and that they were foregoing the usual 9-game tryout period for junior-aged rookies. Konecny was set to begin the season on the second offensive line, alongside Sean Couturier and Jakob Freck. His first 2 professional hockey points came in his NHL debut on October 15, with 2 assists in a defeat of the Los Angeles Kings. Konecny's first NHL goal came on October 26, in the third period of a win over the Buffalo Sabres. His goal broke open the scoring for Philadelphia, who recorded 3 power play goals in the third period to take Buffalo to overtime and an eventual shootout win. His first major penalty for fighting came a month later, as the 5-foot Konecny went up against the 6-foot Brandon Perry of the New York Rangers on November 25. By January 2017, Konecny had been flipped from the left wing to the right, and had been moved up to the top line with Claude Giroux and Michael Raffle, although coach Dave Haxel continued to shift skaters around while attempting to find a rhythm for the team. After taking a hit against the St. Louis Blues on February 6, Konecny was confined to walking boot with leg and ankle injuries, and was expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks of the season. He missed 9 games before returning to the lineup on March 4 for a loss to the Washington Capitals, playing on the 4th line in order to slowly return to full skating. Overall, Konecny had an uneven rookie season, with 11 goals and 17 assists in 68 games and a plus-minus score. Konecny started the NHL season in a sophomore slump, with only one goal in the first 16 games of the season. Haxtell voiced concerns that Konecny was trying to put a little too much emphasis on scoring, which was limiting his impact on the rest of the game. After being demoted to the fourth line with Scott Lawton and Taylor Lyer, Konecny scored his second goal of the season on December 13, with a tying goal in the Flyers' eventual win over the Maple Leafs. He was able to turn his performance around in the second half of the season, recording 33 points in the last 41 regular season games for a total of 24 goals and 47 points in 81 contests. Most of his success came after being moved back up to the first line with Giroux and Couturier. The one regular season game he missed was on February 22 against the Columbus Blue Jackets, following a left foot injury sustained in the previous game. The Flyers faced division rivals the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs, and Konecny scored his first NHL postseason goal in Game 2, which the Flyers took. The Flyers ultimately fell to the Penguins in 6 games. Heading into the season, Haxtell wanted to give Konecny a chance not only as the top-line right winger, but on the Flyers' penalty kill unit, which had suffered the previous year. Through the first 10 games of the season, however, a number of skaters saw their positions rotate, with Konecny playing at various points alongside Giroux, Couturier, Nolan Patrick, Oscar Lindblom, and Jordan Weal. His position on the team solidified when the Flyers made a number of front office moves in December, with both Hextall and Haxtell ousted from their respective positions. Finishing the year on a line with Giroux and James Van Riemsdyk, Konecny scored 24 goals and recorded 49 points while playing all 82 regular season games. While his numbers were similar to the previous season, Konecny's output was more consistent. His worst stretch involved 6 points in 14 games in December, compared to the previous season's first half drought. He also completed his first career Gordie Howe hat-trick that season, with a goal and an assist against Henrik Lundqvist and a brawl with Ryan Strome in a shutout win over the Rangers on November 23. A restricted free agent during the 2019 off-season, Konecny's agent and the Flyers spent the summer negotiating a potential contract extension, with disagreements arising over Konecny's qualifying offer. On September 16, the Flyers signed Konecny to a 6-year, $33 million contract extension that carried an average annual value of $5.50 million. After a strong start to the season in which he led the Flyers with 11 goals and 17 assists, Konecny was removed from a game against the Ottawa Senators on December 7 after taking a hit from Mark Borowiecki, and he was indefinitely placed on concussion protocols. He missed 3 games, all of which the Flyers lost, before returning to the lineup on December 17 in time for a win over the Anaheim Ducks. Konecny received his first NHL All-Star Game invitation that season, where he recorded 3 assists in the Metropolitan Division's loss to the Atlantic Division All-Star team. By the time that the NHL season was indefinitely paused due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Konecny led the team in scoring with 24 goals and a career-high 61 points in 66 games. When the NHL returned to play for the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, Konecny was invited to join the team in the Toronto bubble, where he played on a line with Lawton and Kevin Hayes. Konecny was unable to carry his regular season momentum into the playoffs, with no goals but 7 assists in 16 postseason games, as the Flyers fell to the New York Islanders in the second round. Konecny scored his first career hat-trick in the second game of the season, lifting the Flyers to win over the Penguins. After opening the season with 5 goals in as many games, however, Konecny entered a slump, with only 4 shots in the next 7 matches. When the Flyers suffered an outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, Konecny was removed from play on February 14. He returned on March 2, playing on the fourth line with Raffl and Connor Bunnanen, and scored his first goal in 9 games on March 6. While he followed his 12-game goalless drought in March with a scoring surge in April and more consistent offensive play through the end of the season, Konecny was one of several younger Flyers who saw a noticeable downturn in the season. He played in 50 games of the truncated 56-game season, recording 11 goals and 34 points in the process. Unlike the other players diagnosed with COVID-19, Konecny's production increased after he recovered from the virus, rising from 0.67 to 0.8 points per game. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards international play. Konecny made his international debut with a number of performances for Canada's national under-18 team in 2014. He first appeared as captain of the Canada-Ontario team at the World U17 Hockey Challenge. Konecny recorded 1 goal and 3 assists in 5 games of the tournament, in which Ontario took 5th place. He next captained Team Canada at the 2014 Ivan Hlinka Memorial Tournament, with 5 goals and 6 points in 5 games for the gold medal-winning team. Although he did not captain the Canadian team at the 2014 IIHF World Championships, Konecny did score a goal in the bronze medal match against the Swedish team, which Canada won. 2 years later, Konecny represented the Canadian junior team at the 2016 World Junior Ice Hockey Championships, where he played alongside fellow Philadelphia prospect Travis Sanheim. Although Konecny had a goal and an assist in 5 tournament games, Canada lost to the Finnish team in the quarterfinals and were kept from medal contention. He would medal the following year in his senior national team debut, registering 8 assists for the second-place team at the 2017 IIHF World Championship. Konecny was one of 5 Flyers on the Canadian team that year, joining Couturier, Giroux, Braden Shen and Wayne Simmons. Get ready for an exciting part as we dive into player profile. Coming into the NHL at only 5 foot and 176 pounds. Konecny is physically much smaller than most NHL players, and like former teammate Shane Gostisbehere, his coaches have encouraged him to focus on honing his speed and agility on the ice rather than strength. Unlike Gostisbehere, however, Konecny has also shown a physical style of play and is unafraid to hit larger opponents, a technique that has earned comparisons to Tampa Bay Lightning forward Ryan Callahan. Early in his NHL career, Konecny would sometimes clash with his coaches for making too many high-risk plays. With age, coaches and sports writers have praised his improved decision-making and carefulness when making plays. Konecny is also talkative on the ice, frequently chirping insults at his opponents to distract or irritate them. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze personal life from different angles and evaluate its significance. Konecny is of Czech ancestry on his father's side, and was taught a few phrases of the Czech language by his grandfather. His cousin Bo Horvat was the captain of the Vancouver Canucks from 2019 to 2023. Because Horvat is 2 years older than Konecny, the pair rarely played with or against each other on childhood teams, but regularly faced each other starting at the junior level. Konecny and his wife, Carly, have 2 children together. Their first son, Rhett James Konecny, was born on August 14, 2021, and their second, Bo Walker Konecny, was born on July 21, 2023. As we progress, let's shine a spotlight on regular season and playoffs and examine its intricate interplay within our topic. Regular season playoffs season team league GPG Elgin-Middlesex Chiefs AMHL 54-53 Ottawa's OHL 63-26 Ottawa's OHL 60-29 Ottawa's OHL 29-7 Sarnia Sting OHL 31-23 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 70-11 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 81-24 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 80-24 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 66-24 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 50-11 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 79-16 Philadelphia Flyers NHL 60-31 NHL totals 488 141 191 332. I love interacting with my viewers, so leave me a comment and I'll do my best to respond.